Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Makeup Angels in Action. We had Memorial Day weekend this past weekend, and Susie had other things on her plate. So I am here doing our Angels in Action makeup with you this evening. It's a little late for Susie, so I'm not sure if she will be popping on, but I am here with you. And we are also going to take this time to announce the uh the free readings results. I was holding a raffle for those who were helping me grow my Larkin Psychic Medium, a spiritual interpreter page. And that raffle was supposed to be on Sunday. It was a holiday weekend, and I had to do some extra calculating to find out what was going on as far as who was submitted for the reading. You had to invite 5 people to like and follow my psychic medium page. If you did, you were entered in to a drawing for a free 20-minute reading. So I pushed that off until today. So we're going to do that as well today, but we're going to wait until some people log on. If you are here on the live, welcome and thank you for joining me. My name is Larkin, and if you are on the rebroadcast, all the same, welcome. It's still going to be an amazing hour to watch. So we're here as always to share wisdom and readings from spirit with you and to talk about your spirit team. That means your angels, your spirit guides, your loved ones, teachers, and all those great, wonderful, eternal soul family beings for you on the other side, of which you are a part of that soul team. Okay. So we're here for that. I want to remind you that I do not have, actually this week, I do not have you on Susie's pages since she's not on today. Sometimes we do that. But, if you follow our YouTube page, I also have a Larkin's Readings YouTube page, and Susie and I have a YouTube page. You can join and follow us there. If you want us to see your comments on here, please make sure that you are either subscribed to Steamyard for free, which is posted here in the banner, or you are following us. You've subscribed to the YouTube page, and then your comments will be able to be seen. Okay. So, as always, as we get started here, I'm going to light some incense for you guys. And see here. Sorry, guys. I had to go get my part of my incense lighter. I want to have some incense lit, and I have a candle for you. And I always, remind and encourage you guys to have incense or have a candle. It's not necessary, but it really enhances the ambiance for you. And it helps your senses to really connect through the egoic veil. It's so much easier. Oh, I already have one in here. Okay. It helps your senses to connect through the egoic veil. Actually, when you have the candles and the incense, it really changes the frequency. It changes your mindset. It changes your senses. And it's very important to sort of get centered, get more in the present, get in the now as you're doing these things. That's very important. I'm gonna go ahead and light this here for you guys. Welcome, guys. When you pop on, feel free to say hello. Let me know where you're listening from. And I'm gonna light this for you guys. There you go. Now we have some wonderful black cherry going on here today with our little incense. And let's see here. Scroll down here and get to comments. Okay, so I'm also going to put up here that, hi, Anne Marie, welcome. I'm also going to be posting, guys, on the Larkin Psychic Medium Spiritual Interpreter page, as well as talking about that here today. The results of the raffle for the free 20-minute reading. People did not follow the instructions. I don't think I had one person follow the instructions the entire month. However, they did find other ways to let me know who they invited to like and follow the page. And so I will get into what happened with the raffle there shortly. And then, maybe we'll try again next month. We'll see. We've got that. And then I'm going to go ahead and light the candle for you guys. Where are you all listening from? Let me know if you log on where you're listening from. This was sort of last minute. I've been sort of delaying when I post these because we seem to get less trolls if I post these events, these lives closer to the time that we're starting. If I post them a day or two early, we have a tendency to have like literally 4 or 5 times the amount of trolls and people on here trying to do scamming things. So anyway, we'll see how this goes today. So on here, guys, as Susie was mentioning last week, we do call this Angels in Action. We do talk about angels. We do angel readings and mediumship and all that great stuff. But we also include your entire spirit team because it's not just the angels. It's your entire team, your spirit guides, your loved ones that have crossed over. Let me put this back here for a minute. Your angels, your master teachers in spirit, your animal totems. I want to get this where you guys can see it. All that stuff, guys, is a part of your spirit team. So it's very critical. And you're a part of that spirit team as well. All right. So while we're waiting for a few people to log on, I'm going to share with you guys some fun things that we have coming up. June 16th is I'm going to do the online group reading. It's called Angel Party. It's not the same as the private angel parties that you guys can schedule with your friends. If you have an event and you want to have me or have Susie and I come and do an angel party event where you have a bunch of your friends or family, or you have it for a wedding shower or something, you can always schedule that. I do those online. And it's, you can do that privately, but this is the monthly angel party that I do, which is the online group reading. So it's semi-private. So that is going to be June 6th. And let's see. I only take up to 20 people. Everyone is guaranteed to have a reading. And if you guys want to register for that, you can go to my psychic medium page. Let's see. It's actually posted. It's pinned to the top. Where are you listening from, Anne Marie? Let's see. Register on. Let's see. You guys can register on my psychic medium page here. The link is right there at larkinsreadings.com as well. And then, guys, we have tomorrow night is Elder Speak, and I'm going to be a guest on that. I have the link posted here on the Larkin Psychic Medium page where people can get on and ask questions. I've been invited to speak at that. Bristol, England, wonderful. It looks like you are. It looks like we have 2 people. The second person hasn't said hello. So it looks like there's 2 people. This was sort of an impromptu make-up live today. We missed our Monday because we had a holiday here in the US, and Susie was unable to make it on Monday. So I am doing a makeup for you guys today. All right. So I'm just waiting for some people to log on. And in the meantime, I'm sharing with you guys some events that I have coming up. And the first one is the group angel party. You guys can find the link there. It's pinned. It's pined, not pined, pinned. So we have that coming up. That's one of the things. And then we also have the prayer sphere coming up. So that is a free event, and that is going to be on the 9th from 11 a.m. EDT to 1 p.m. EDT. So that's 5 hours ahead of your British Standard Time, Anne. And that's where Chris Alba and I are going to be discussing the power of prayer individually and collectively. We're going to run you through some ways to have powerful prayer and show you what is not powerful and what is powerful when you're praying and how to pray collectively. And then we're going to go through some exercises and do some prayer there. We're actually going to have a prayer sphere, and then you guys will be able to take that with you and carry that on and apply that to your personal prayer. Okay, so the prayer circle, you can find it again, Larkin Psychic Medium Spiritual Interpreter page. I have all this listed, guys. So if you haven't liked my page, the prayer sphere is going to be on the 9th. So that is coming up. I can't believe it's June already. Oh my gosh. And that's going to be 11 a.m. EDT. So that's 4 hours. That's 5 hours ahead of you guys in the UK. Okay. So that's coming up. And then this month, for those of you just joining us, welcome. I am just sharing upcoming events while we're waiting for people to log on, because I did this sort of impromptu today. So let's see. If you guys are interested in meeting your spirit guides, that event this month is actually near the end of the month. It's going to be June 29th, and I only take 10 to 15 people for that. That is where I'm holding space for you to literally meet your spirit guides, for your spirit guides to introduce themselves to you. And so there's a lot of personal attention that goes on there, and I'm going to guide you through the process of meeting your spirit guides, and then I'm going to help you fill in the gaps. So wherever you are not making a connection, I'm going to help you get messages from them, learn how to get messages from them, understand how they try to communicate to you, and show you how to do that before you get off of that event. So that is going to be June 29th, and you also have to register for that. It is pinned to the top of my Psychic Medium page, the link there, and you do have to register. Let's see. Let's see, registration. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to type this in here for you guys. Hold on, I'll get to your comment, Anne, just 1 second. It's hard to type here and talk at the same time. Registration required, because it's limited spaces. I think everybody should get to know their spirit guides, and I can only do that so many people at a time. So maybe I'll find a way not to do it, but to do it with a greater number of people. But this was the spirit guides' ideas to hold this event, so that's what I'm doing. All right, let's see here. Let's see. You love to watch because you do pray. Yeah, well, Anne Marie, it's your ego that feels that way, and that's okay. The egoic veil creates this tremendous illusion. And really, when it is a heartfelt prayer, um, there is a soul connection there, and you don't have to feel that. I mean, that's part of the egoic veil. What the egoic veil does is we couldn't have a full life experience here, if we didn't have to get through that, if we didn't have to have the faith in it, right? The belief in it, which is the power that makes that work here. So, that is okay. Just understand that it's just a feeling. You said, but I feel like I'm just talking to myself. That's just a feeling. And I think it's when you can realize that feelings are just feelings, and that emotions are just emotions, they're two different things. Life takes a shift. Your perspective changes. So Just know that just because you feel that doesn't mean that it's not heard. Every single prayer is always heard. Every complaint is heard. You don't even have to say it or pray and it's known. Okay? So that's part of being conscious. That's what God's source spirit does. It has that ability to be conscious. And it knows, it permeates. We might not be able to see and sense everything, but non-physical can. Okay? So, and your soul is always connection anyway with your spirit team. Okay? It doesn't really matter what you pray to. God is everything. You are God. Everything is energy. You can't get away from it. When you're experiencing struggling and suffering, it's because you're experiencing the absence of that connection with source. Okay? So it is always heard. You are always heard. Okay? So when we do the prayer sphere, we're going to discuss how people disempower their prayers. We're going to discuss the different perceptions of what prayer is, and we're going to talk about what it really is, and then we're going to talk about how to pray powerfully, because when we are praying from an egoic place, that's not powerful, right? When we're, oh my God, when we're praying from a place of need, that's not powerful, right? When we're praying from a place of want and need and desperation, that's not powerful. Right? So what Chris and I are going to do is we're going to help you differentiate between what is powerful prayer, what is not powerful prayer, and how to align with your innate soul's power to pray, okay? Because we have been taught to do it in ways that are disempowering to us. When we do it from a place of presence, it's powerful. When we do it from a place of ego, where we think that things have to be a certain way in order for us to get what we want, we're disempowering ourselves. Okay. So that is why the power of now and learning to be in the now and being present is important, because the most powerful place to align and manifest from is in the now. And most people are praying from the past or the future, from fear of the future, regret or pain of the past, from a needy place of wanting and need. And so that, creates disempowerment. Why? Because that's from an ego place. Okay. And ego is weak. Ego is not true power. So we're going to go over that, and then we're going to give you some ways that you can choose from to pray more powerfully and make those shifts. And a lot of that means letting go of the how you want things to happen, so that you can call upon and allow God's source spirit to get behind you and use that power for prayer. Okay. So it's posted right there. The prayer sphere is June 9th. And did you guys see the little orb just go behind me? So that will be June 9th, and you can join us there if you'd like to. It's 11 a.m. EDT, which is 4 p.m. BST. Okay. And then we have the June 16th online group readings. I only take 20 people. It's a really inexpensive way to have a semi-private group reading. Spirit guide event. I also posted up here. If you guys know anyone that wants or needs to meet their spirit guides to connect more personally with them, that's June 29th. That's also going to be at 11 a.m. EDT, which is 4 p.m. BST. Okay. That is life changing. I love that. And then last but not least, guys, there's only 2 days left. If you want half off of a reading with me, all of May, I offered a half price hour-long readings. So if you want or need that, I will not be doing that again for a while. I have no idea if or when I'll be doing that again. Let's see. The link is also found and pinned. Let's see here. Sorry, guys, I'm just typing this in. Pinned here. There we go. All right. But that's also, guys, why, if you notice, I do it a lot on Veronica Jenkins' Find Me a Medium page, where I talk about taking a few minutes before you jump on with a reader and ask for a reading to really get in your center, and to this allows spirit to come through to you more easily instead of coming on. Most people come on and they're desperate for reading. They're desperate to see if I'm going to say, or another reader is going to say what the last reader said. And so it's very interesting because people come on with this air of desperation when really, if you want to be receiving and connecting with spirit, we need to be relaxed. We need to be out of our head, which is not panicked. Things tend to flow to us better, whether it's abundance or whether it's answers or whether it's comfort. Whatever it is, things are attracted to us. The things that we want, the solutions that we desire, the healings that we want, those are attracted to us when we are relaxed. And that can be very difficult to do, right? Because the egoic mind wants to get us not relaxed, wants to keep us like hooked. But when you get on a live like this and you come with an air of relaxation and being in your center, then things can flow to you. And so that's one of the reasons why I really encourage that. And, it doesn't have to be that way with prayer, but again, when we're getting, the law of attraction says like attracts like. So when we are like grasping for straws and in an air of desperation, all we can really call back to us is more desperation, right? So anyway, that makes it very powerful and very important to make sure that we can, um, get the whole idea is to get the universe behind us, right? Is to be able to utilize the powers that be, because we are connected to that. And if we disconnect ourselves from that, what power do we have? We're just kind of offering resistance, right? Let's see here. Hmm. Interesting. Try not to have readings anymore because I find them make me feel better for a little while and then they go back. Okay. Well, I think that depends on who you're getting the reading from and what the reading is and what you do with the reading. I don't think that you need to not have readings. I think that what I find, and it's interesting that you mentioned this because for a long time, Anne Marie, one of the reasons my page is still small and growing is because as a reader, I'm also a mindset coach and a transformational specialist. And I spent a lot of years just doing that and using my intuition for that, not building an online psychic medium page or business. The reason that I did that is a very similar reason to what you're describing. Only for me, I was on the other side of it, right? So I do understand what you're saying, but I will tell you from the opposite perspective, from the reader's perspective. And a lot of readers won't tell you this, but this is why I did the coaching for a while instead. But it even happens with coaching clients. And honestly, it's exhausting for me to watch. Okay. What I find, and again, this is the human mind, this is the human ego. We're in a world that encourages immediate gratification because that benefits the economy. If people are panicked, they're going to go out and have a beer, or they're going to go shopping, or they're going to buy a pack of cigarettes, or they're going to have an impulse buy, right? And so our economy functions on depending upon us to want and need immediate gratification. It also causes us to want to be on our iPhones and want to, listen to music and want to, watch television. Well, that exposes us to brainwashing that gets us to spend our money where they want us to spend our money. Okay. So what I found is, and the reason I didn't do live online readings years ago like this, is because of the exact same thing you're talking about. People come for readings and they will want what they want, even in a private reading, they'll want what they want. And they want you to tell them what they want to hear. They've gone to five other readers and they want to see if you're going to say the same thing or something different than the other reader. Then they pick the answer they like best. And then all the other readers are terrible and wrong. And that was wearing me out. It was exhausting. And there was one night, Anne Marie, that I got on. I decided, no, I'm going to do this. Like I know I need to be on doing readings, and because call to actions come through for me, because I'm also a coach and I want results. And I had this inspiration that readings need to evolve, that they need to change, that instead of going to a reader and being told what to do, and then going back the next month and going back the next month or going back the next week or going back the next week and asking the same freaking question with the same problem, that readers need to be bringing through the call to action that spirit gives. And that's why you hear in the beginning of these broadcasts, there are a few things that will make sense to you now that I'm explaining this to you. Number one, I always remind you that you are a part of your spirit team. And that means that, what I see in most readings is that the reader will, or the people want what their angels or spirit guides or loved ones want them to do. And that's not how it works. That's not what spirit wants to do. Spirit is here to guide you to be empowered, to guide. You're the one here with the free will in this lifetime. They are here to guide you to make powerful decisions, to guide you to remember who you are as a soul while you're here, to guide you to make choices in your life, to teach you how to do transformation and to support you. And so that is their job. Their job is not to say, don't do this, do that, stay away from that person, go talk to this person. They'll give you road signs and cues and hints, but it's not there, and it's not their job to do it for you. So one of the reasons that you go to a reader and you feel better is because you get immediate gratification and comfort, but then you either don't know to carry out what was given to you, or you weren't given a call to action. There in a real powerful reading, what should happen is there should be acknowledgement and validation, and then there should be guidance. And it's not always the answers to the questions you want, but most people come to satisfy their anxiety, their nervousness, the thing they think they need to know then. If it is nervousness or anxiousness, it is your ego. And emotions are the mind and the body. And if you get The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, he explains that ego is the same thing as mind, is the same thing as thought. Okay, is the same thing as resistance. And resistance is the thing that causes us to struggle and suffer. That's where your egoic self wants to keep you, because since you don't have to run from the saber-toothed tiger anymore, you don't have to survive every day. That's what the ego's there for. So the ego makes sure you are mentally and emotionally, if not physically, in a situation of feeling that you constantly are in survival mode, because that's the ego's purpose, is to keep you alive. So the ego isn't bad. But if we don't direct it and we don't become aware of it, which is what this time in history is about, this is what our life is about. Our life is, we're here to wake up and remember who we are as a soul, so we can experience our true authentic selves in physical form. And if we don't now we're supposed to evolve beyond just the ego, right? Beyond survival, and instead use our mind as a tool. So I can see what you're saying and I understand. And to be quite honest, I did not do readings online for ages simply because of what you've written here. And people were coming, and you might not be this way, but the people that were coming to me, I felt like, it was free online readings. So I was still struggling to feed my animals. I was still struggling to pay my bills. Nobody wanted to pay me for a reading, but everybody would keep me online for hours if I let them. just, who am I going to marry? When am I going to have a baby? What's my love? What's my soulmate's name? How much, when am I going to make this much money? When am I going to lose weight? Like, everybody wanted all these things that were going to curb their anxiety. And one night I was online for over 5 hours doing readings. And I ended up with such a migraine, and I had such a hard time telling people no. And, I did not get online and do readings for 2 years after that. I was like, "I can't do this." Because I just felt like everybody was so needy that I want, and they didn't care. They didn't wanna pay me. They didn't value my gift. They just wanted whatever's gonna make them feel better. And I knew perfectly well that the next day, they were just gonna get on and go to another reader and look for a free online reading with somebody else, because they don't really give a shit about us. So, I see what you're coming from, and understand that that's true from the other side too. I found that with coaching as well. I would bust my butt and give people half price off my program. I would do 2-hour sessions instead of 1-hour sessions. I was practically going broke doing it. And I'd have people that would just leave the program and not pay. But it was because they weren't willing to follow through the steps. And so I'm giving you this as a hint, Anne-Marie, because if you there are steps beyond feeling better. And those steps have to be stepping into your power. Spirit will always guide you there. Now, some readers pick up on that and some readers don't. Some readers are real and some readers are not. So if depending on who you go to, who you talk to, does that reader just feel pressure to please in the reading? Or is that reader pulling through the call to action that Spirit is giving you? Because Spirit wants to give you a call to action. I don't know if you've ever listened to my readings, but Spirit will say to people, "Why are you asking me this again? You've come for this with this question 5 times," and Spirit will throw the question back at the person. They'll do this right here online while I'm reading for people. If you want the next answer, you have to do the next step, and you haven't done this, this, and this yet. Okay? And so, it could be in the questions that you ask. So you might want to do a little introspection work if you're not running into readers that are doing that for you. But getting a reading is not the problem. The problem is what you are or are not doing with the reading, or if the people that are doing the readings for you are giving you guidance and a call to action from Spirit. If they're not a valid reader, they might not know to do that even. If they are a valid reader, that may not be the info that they are picking up on. But the whole purpose of a reading is to bring in the factors that that the normal human mind and senses is not aware of. Because the only thing somebody like me is doing is we're picking up on the subtleties that most people do not pick up on because their egoic veil is in the way. So readings are very powerful. Even a series of readings are powerful. But I use them as like a coaching session from Spirit. That Spirit saying to somebody, like it said to me for years, "You're still not doing the readings that you should be." There are people out there needing readings, needing mediumship. And so what I did was I finally, after 2 years, I was like, "Okay, I got to do it." And I just got on and I created some boundaries and I said, "I'm doing it for this long." And I told my audience how it was, and I put a limit on what I do for free. And I once I set that up, then Spirit started, it just showed me the way. So just keep that in mind. It's not really the readings. It would be the same thing with coaching. People will say, "Oh, coaching doesn't work." Coaching does work. The question is, what are you doing with the information? And is the coach or the reader that is working with you, are they privy to the information that guides you? And then do they know how to get you to follow through? And are you following through? Because the hardest part for somebody like me who does both coaching and readings is To be honest, 95% of people will not do the guidance that I give them, whether it's from coaching or whether it's from spirit, because the voice of their ego in their head is louder, and that's their comfort zone. And if you want to get past the just feeling better for a short time, you actually have to be creating transformation, Anne Marie, not change, because change always reverts back. Transformation becomes permanent. Okay. Hey, honey, I'm doing my live. That's okay. I'll call you in a few minutes. Are you okay? Great. I'll call you soon. Bye. Sorry, I always have my husband or my mom that calls while I'm in the middle of doing a live. So I figured why not answer it? Let's see. Um, let's see. This is a good topic. I've just had some readings that have been wrong. I don't doubt the reader, but I start to question myself if the universe was testing my faith. What a good question. So, first of all, let's talk about testing. The universe doesn't actually test you, and God doesn't actually test you. But I'm going to share you what that misinterpretation is on our part. Okay. Our human ego needs to have a way to define it, and it doesn't understand anything other than we must be tested from the outside. The ego loves that because it's heroic. Oh, I was tested and I failed. Or, oh, I was tested and I passed. It's not actually like that. What we perceive as a test is really just our opportunities. And it's our ability to see the line between, okay, I have made it, across this point, and this is my marker, right? Because we need those markers. So just maybe shift your perception on what testing is. The universe doesn't test your faith. God doesn't actually test your faith. You test yourself because you are God. You are a part of God, right? Yeah, I don't like to talk about God because that term is misused and everybody has their own definition, but that which we call God, which I now use the term source, usually I say God, source, and spirit because people get too caught up in the words. Um, God doesn't judge us and God doesn't test us. We judge ourselves and we test ourselves. Our soul is in our body and it's also outside of our body. It's so vast that we can't fully incarnate. So there's the majority of our soul is actually left out of our body when we incarnate. We only need a teeny bit to animate our physical form. And so we will maybe test ourselves, but what we're looking at it as a test is actually just a reminder. It's a reminder of, oh, okay. Maybe if the intuition that comes to you is I need to have more faith in things, then that's one thing. But, let's talk about readers for a while. Sometimes a reader is just wrong. I'm wrong. The spirit is never wrong. Doesn't mean I don't interpret something wrong. But I've learned to not look at it as right and wrong. For example, a lot of times someone might say, "Oh, my aunt is coming through." And I'll go, "Oh, does your aunt have red curly hair and a green dress?" And she'll go, "No." They'll go, "No, it's dark hair and blah, 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 blah. And she never wore dresses." Well, often what happens is, let's say that the person that wanted to come through was for someone else, or the frequency that's coming through at first looks red to me. And then as it transmutes and the frequency shifts, I'm able to see the true color. But if I speak and I say it looks red to me first and curly, but there's another soul coming in with curly hair and all those frequency areas are mixed when they come in, it will look like a person with red curly hair to me. And this is what I mean when I have to say I have to sift and sort and sift and sort and sift and sort. It is a constant ongoing process. And so a lot of times, depending on how the reader's mind works, they can come off as wrong. I can't tell you how many times after a reading is over, the sorting process is still going on, and I get the total clarity once the reading's over and the person's gone. And I was like, oh my God, those weren't three people, those were five, and they were It doesn't mean it's not real. Doesn't mean I was wrong. It means I was in process of interpreting. And unless you guys do that and you know how it works and you know how hard it is, you probably won't understand what I'm saying. Okay. Which is that makes it very easy to say, oh my God, a reader's fake or they're wrong. Um, so you could be right. The reader could just the readings were maybe just wrong. Um, or maybe the reader didn't process all the information yet, and so it came out as partial information, which made it wrong. Maybe it was the way they said it. Maybe it was a fake reader. Um, or a lot of times also I find that I will pick up on things like readings happen outside of space and time. So a lot of times when spirit comes through, it comes through with information that the person you're reading for isn't even privy to yet, or they disagree with, and then they'll think you're wrong. One of my favorite stories of this was I had a lady come to me years ago, um, and she had family members she wanted to talk to for mediumship reading. But the first soul that came through to her was a gentleman her age who had crossed, who wanted to tell her how much he loved her and how he was so sorry and how he had died in a car accident. And it had been his intention to find her all these years later and just make right and apologize. And he'd never gotten the chance before he passed away. And he gave me name and everything. And she got very upset with me. She actually cut the reading short. After that, everything I said was wrong. She thought I was wrong. I didn't know what I was doing. I was a terrible reader, blah, 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 blah. And I got an email from her a month after the reading. And what I had said to her was, Spirit is always right. And maybe you don't remember this person, but this person knows at the time he meant something to you. And check the obituaries, go back through your high school yearbook, like do whatever you have to. But spirit comes through when they have us as readers at the right time for you. Just because something doesn't resonate with you doesn't mean it's not going to click later. Sure enough, a month later, she sent me an email apologizing. And she said, I am so sorry. She said, I went back to my childhood hometown and I found out that my first love had died in a car accident, and he had broken my heart when I was 15. And she said, all these years later, I certainly never would have thought of him, but she said I was crushed and it took me 30 years to get over him leaving me. And so that was him coming through, and it was really neat, but it took her a month, and I knew eventually that it would come through. So I think that what I see, if I go to the bottom of what you're saying here, I've just hit some readings that are wrong. I don't doubt the reader, but I started to question myself. Um, and if the universe was testing my faith, I think something really important to remember here is, and I say this as a mindset coach too, question everything. Question every thought you have. Have your thoughts, but don't believe them. Okay. Don't believe what anybody else says either. That includes what I'm saying now. Question everything. Run it through your filter. Okay. The reason you all guys always hear me say, remember who you are, is because when you remember who you are as a soul, you start to recognize that your thoughts are just experiences that the observer behind your thoughts, which is your soul, your eternal consciousness, are having. And all of a sudden, all these things we're talking about aren't that big of a deal. Right. So, you know, it's kind of you to say you didn't doubt the reader. Maybe they were great readers, and that's great. Um, Maybe you should have questioned the reader. But let's talk about the last part. I know I'm being super thorough here, but this is really important, Anne Marie. This is as in depth as I would go in with my coaching clients here. You started to question yourself and if the universe was testing your faith. So question it, that might have been good to question yourself. That and was the universe testing your faith? Really, that should be you questioning your faith, because I don't know what it was that the reader was wrong about, but it could be maybe the reader wasn't wrong. Maybe there are things that you were perceiving about what was coming out, or maybe the reader was wrong, and this was a reminder that things are not always as they appear. Miracles happen when we trust. It's not that we have to have faith in who we think God is and all this. It's that we have to have faith in ourselves and our connection, right? Because you have a golden thread connection to source. Every person, every animal, every plant, every insect, which is an animal, is just as sacred, because there is not anything in existence that is not a part and an extension of source, which means there is no true separation. The separation is an illusion. And this is when we question. This is when we doubt. This is when we struggle. This is when we suffer. This is when we forget as human beings that everything is always working out for us. No matter how things appear, everything is always working out for us. No matter what happens, you are okay. No matter what happens to your body, no matter, you know, no matter what happens, everything is always working out for you. Okay. So I think this is very important. This whole thing is important. And Anne Marie, I would journal about it. And I think that I want to remind you guys that I have an Awakening Your Intuition mastermind group that we meet every Thursday, and we talk about these things. We talk about our own connection. We talk about our spirit guides and angels. We talk about metaphysical and paranormal and spiritual experiences that we have, and people learn to build their confidence um with these very types of things in a community that is safe and likes to discuss them. So if you guys are interested in that or in coaching with me, just, message me on larkinsreadings.com and we can work on that. Hello, Yeza. Welcome. So anyway, yeah, so those are really good questions, Anne Marie. I think that's um, yeah, that's a very good topic. And I think that, hold on here. Hold on. I'm trying to, there we go. I think it's important that we journal about these things, or we ask about these things, or we get these things out in the open. Because when we start to learn about them authentically and share about them, it's very important. Okay. Let's see. Are you trolling us, Yeza? Is that what you're doing? Let's see here. All right. All righty. She'll probably pop back up there. Let's see. Several readers have said I will move house, and every time I try to move house, it fell through, which is why I didn't understand what was going on. Okay, well, this happens to me all the time. I have a lady on here who's been asking for a year if she was going to move. And the answer I got was yes. And I got that she was going to move in December, and she did not move. And so every time she gets on here, she's asking me, when am I going to move? You said I was going to move in December. You said I was going to move before January. Okay, well, there's a lot actually to that, Anne Marie. And this is why I don't like, and actually Spirit does not like, doing predictive readings. A predictive reading is what the ego wants. You have to remember that, and I'm not the only psychic that says this, we do and will get predictions. We do and will get time frames. But you have to remember that you are a factor in this, and that nothing is set in stone. And I know people that don't like or believe in psychic mediums say, well, that's just an excuse that we use to cover ourselves when we're wrong. Well, okay, you know what? That's fine. You can believe that if you want. Um, but the truth is that the readings are coming from outside of time and space. And outside of time and space, it's everything is in the now. And so the problem with wanting to know, are you going to move or what's going to happen or when it's going to happen, is that that is an egoic desire. And our ego always wants to know when, what, and how in order to feel calm and at peace. What spirit wants, what our soul wants, is for us to feel at peace without knowing. The ego hates that. And this is another reason why I avoided doing readings and I only did coaching for years instead of doing readings online. Because if the reader says, well, I don't like doing predictions or this and that, hi, Rosalie, welcome. Then you're a fake, you're terrible, you don't know what you're doing, you're supposed to be able to predict. Well, prediction is wanting to know things ahead of time so that you feel secure, right? And so the ego always says, if I just knew I was moving or I just knew I had a soulmate out there, I could relax. Soul says, spirit says, source says, no, you learn the self control of learning to be in the present. And then you will feel relaxed. And then those things you want will come to you because that's actually how manifesting works. I've been a manifestation coach for over 15 years. It actually doesn't work the other way. You first have to be present and you have to know and feel and be that which you want to manifest. So if you want to feel secure in where you're living or in a relationship or with money, you have to feel secure first. Then the things you want that define your security come. And it's very ironic to what most people think. So a lot of times, and I'm going to give you an explanation for readers here. Um, a lot of times a reader feels pressure. And this was also one of the reasons why I delayed doing online readings. I had to build my confidence as a reader to the point where I didn't care if people said I was a fake, they didn't like what I said, they were disagreeing with me, because my loyalty is either going to be to the ego, to my own ego, who wants to please people and wants them to think I'm a good reader and feels pressure, right? And doesn't want to be embarrassed. That's my ego. Or it's going to succumb to the pressure of the person I'm reading for, right? I don't want to let them down. If they're expecting me to say a certain thing, there's a lot of pressure to say that. And so I had to get strong enough and experienced enough that I was able to say to people, look, my loyalty is to spirit. That means your soul and spirit and your spirit team that is communicating to you before it is to your ego, before it is to what you want. So I'm going to give you an honest reading from spirit, whether you like it and agree with me or not. Now, there's a lot of pressure there, guys, a lot. And so it's very easy for a reader to, have something come in that they even honestly believe just out of pressure, feeling from you that you want to move. Okay. And it's just easier in the moment for them just to say, yeah, you're going to move. Okay. So I'm not saying that's what they did, but a lot of readers end up doing that because there is a lot of pressure and there's a lot of backlash a lot of times when you don't say what people want to hear, which is why I just blatantly say, hi, Samantha. Hi, Michelle. When I just blatantly say, hey, you know what? Like my loyalty is not to your ego. It's to spirit. Think what you want. This is what spirit is saying. Okay. Um, the woman I was talking to you about moving that I've told her she's going to move. She is going to move. I still see it. And initially when spirit came through, they said she was going to move by December. But here's the thing, guys. If you're aligned a certain way and you get a reading and the reader says, "Yeah, I see you moving," or "I see you moving by this time," and then you shift a priority or something in your life changes and you have a change of heart or you learn something and you do something differently, guess what? That changes the outcome. When I'm reading for someone, I will see things the way they are aligned at that time. And I don't know about other readers, but for me, I see a whole bunch of possibilities right in front of me. If you ask me what's happening, I see literally an infinite amount of possibilities. The ones in the middle and the center, usually the middle three, they're here, here, and here, are the most likely to happen for you. Okay. Spirit will prompt me. Do I share the one that I see? Where, like I did for this one lady, where I said, yeah, I see you moving by December. It looks like by December. I'll usually say it looks like to soften it because people hang on to what you say. Um, but sometimes spirit will say, give them these other two possibilities too. And then in that case, I almost always get why there's three outcomes that I see and what they need to do for each outcome or what they need to do for that middle outcome. Okay. Not all readers see that. That's just how I work. Okay. So understand that we live in a multidimensional universe where there's an infinite amount of possibilities happening for you. What if you know anything about string theory? There are infinite versions of you, infinite universes happening for you in this circumstance all the time. And because I am a dimension walker, when I do readings, I actually have to sort out those other dimensions. A lot of times I will see what's happening for you in another universe, in another reality, and I got to weed that out. So these readers could also be picking up on that. So don't let yourself get too confused. For you, the real lesson here that is coming through that you're not going to like, but I'm going to tell you this anyway. For you, the real lesson is because your spirit team wants you to become empowered and confident and liberated from your mind. The real test here is to become grateful and satisfied without the need for this move and let it go. And when you do that and you relax, you put yourself in a frequency of already receiving, of an abundance in receiving. Then what's going to happen is you're not going to have to try to move. The opportunity will come for you. Okay, struggle is trying laced with emotion. As Eckhart Tolle says, it's effort laced with emotion. It's the emotion of stress. You got to do the opposite of what you're doing, Anne Marie. And that's where all this confusion is. So I'm going to give you one more hint. I've spent a lot of time with you today. When it is ego, there will be confusion, there will be fear, there will be frustration, things will not make sense. There will be frustration and negative emotions, lack of clarity, anxiety. When it is consciousness, when you are in alignment, there's joy, there's gratitude, there's clarity, there's peace, there's relaxation. The most important thing you can do is actually get yourself into that state. When you do that, the move will happen effortlessly. The opportunity will come. And that's the manifesting coach in me. But your spirit team also tells me that because spirit knows the same thing. Okay. So you need to let go of this idea of wanting and needing to move. You need to let go of what the readers have said. Just know that it's true. You will be moving, but those readers probably don't understand how you're getting in your own way, whereas they're showing me here how you're getting in your own way. Okay, so I hope that helps you. Thank you for hanging out with me here. Hi, Rosalie. Samantha, welcome. You made it, Michelle. Yes, awesome. Guys, I want to remind you before I get into anything else here, that I posted in the beginning of these comments events that I have coming up. There are only 2 days left if you guys want a half-priced reading. Okay, I don't know if and when I'm doing this again. For the month of May, I offered half-price readings. $75 for an hour instead of $150. So if you'd like a private reading with me, hop on there. It's pinned to my Psychic Medium page. Also, I posted the online group reading if you would like a less expensive semi-private reading. The prayer sphere we're having on the 9th, the Meet Your Spirit Guides event on the 29th. Those are all very limited spaces and they will sell out quickly. So if you want to do anything more in depth with me, please check that out. But you guys only have 48 hours to get those half price readings if you want a private reading. Okay. And then I actually have to go in about 10 minutes because I have to get to the horses. Let's see here. I am going to announce though what happened with the drawing for the free 20-minute reading. Michelle, you're a part of this, so I'll get on that in just a second. I didn't get to do it on Sunday because it was a holiday and I had to figure out uh who was actually in the drawing, and then I had to go and track and see how many, who liked and followed my page because that was the whole promotion there. Um you're asking about housing too. I'd like to know what's happening with my housing situation in the future. I think it's interesting about the multi dimensions. I'm curious to know uh what other me's are up to. Your job is just to focus on the me that you are now. So it's funny because I was just talking about with Anne Marie about this, about wanting to have predictions. And there is a place for that, and it does and can work. But we need to not get hung up on it because sometimes the outcome that we want is not best for us. Sometimes when we're in a hurry to move, we don't realize that if we wait a year or we wait 6 months, the more perfect opportunity comes. Okay? It's like racing to grab the apples from the shelf at the grocery store because you're afraid they're going to be gone, and you walk out of the store and you grab the last 3 apples, and as soon as you purchase those last 3 apples, they come out from the back with a new shipment and they put the fresh apples out. Right? So, when you guys are wanting to know this, understand that everything you all want is from a limited perspective that is within time and space. Okay? When spirit is speaking to me, it's saying things like, why are they in such a hurry? They don't need this to be happy. They don't need to be in such a hurry. There's something better coming up. They should wait another year. Things like that, right? Those are the types of things that come through. So let's see. Um, Michelle, I will do predictions. I don't like doing predictions. I will and do predictions, but please always remember nothing is set in stone and you guys can change these. And sometimes the universe has better things in mind for you than what you think you want. Okay? We have a tendency to get really stuck on that. Okay, Meet Your Spirit Guides was very good. I want to do it again. Yes. Um, let's see. Uh Oh, the pro-life reading was on spot too. Yeah, that was an amazing reading we had, Michelle. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, you can share that in a testimonial. That'll be wonderful for people to see. Um, I am going to have you guys, I'm going to ask you guys for testimonials for Meet Your Spirit Guides too, so people know what it's like. Michelle, that was super fun for you, with you. Let's see here. Okay. Let's do this. My landlord is selling my house, so I only have a short time left here. The rentals are insane in the area, so someone else is rushing me. Oh, yeah. No, that's very true. They are crazy. Well, it's interesting. I actually think you're going to be moving twice, Michelle. I think you're going to be moving somewhere more temporarily, and then I see you moving into a house. It looks like a white house, actually. After that, maybe like within 6 months to a year, but it looks like you're gonna be moving somewhere temporary first, perhaps in with somebody else, like, you guys might be, like, co-renting a place, um, for a while, and then actually getting into a house, which again looks like a white house. I see green grass and a yard around it, so I would be prepared to move twice if I were you. Um, Apply gratitude. I was talking to Anne Marie about apply gratitude. I'm so happy and grateful and thankful, to have this wonderful new place to live, to have this wonderful place to move. Don't complain about any of it. Be very grateful, because that's going to bring that second place in. So I think the temporary place is going to be a little cramped. You're going to be like, I don't really want to stay here, but it's okay for now. And then you'll find the place that you want to go. And that opportunity is going to pop up and surprise you. Okay. That's what I'm getting here. So don't worry about it if you're applying gratitude, okay? It doesn't suck. It doesn't suck. No, it doesn't suck. This is what you don't do that. Do this. Yes, always grateful. Yes, do that. Because if you do that, that puts you in the place of gratitude, right? That puts you in the frequency. It aligns you already with what you want. And guys, this is the hardest thing for people to do. This is why when I do mindset and manifesting coaching, people work with me 2 to 3 years. You have to reprogram your mind. Okay. And understand that things are always working out for you. And when you understand that, you understand as long as you're in human form, things are going to be a pain in the ass because it's going to be in process, right? But there's a blessing. The intermediary place is holding a space for you while the more ideal place works its way up. Okay, so that's super, super important. Thank you. You're welcome, Michelle. Well, keep me posted. I love this. Listen, don't pop off because I actually have to get off, but I want to do the announcement for the free reading here. Let me get, I appreciate your time. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for your help. I understand a lot more now. Oh, I so hope so. Spirit put a lot of effort into that. So I hope I communicated it as clearly as they would like me to. I've been looking to learn what I was doing wrong and how I was getting in my own way. Thank you. Yeah, you're not doing anything wrong, but we all get in our own way, Anne Marie, and it's always our ego. It's always resistance. That's why I do the mindset coaching. It is our mind that has to get out of the way. And I think a lot of readers leave that out because they don't know to do that. My work is always sort of combined. Spirit's always giving me a call to action, and that includes how to get our mind and mindset out of the way. And so I think that's probably what helped things make sense for you today. I'm so grateful that that was helpful to you. Keep me posted. All right, guys, don't forget, if you like this broadcast, like it, and follow my Psychic Medium page if you liked this, so more people that need this help can find it. Hey, Lisa Joe. All right, guys, so I do have to get off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you what happened with the reading raffle. I was offering a free 20-minute reading for anyone that shared and invited people to like my Larkin Psychic Medium Spiritual Interpreter page, because I'd like to get to 1,000 followers over the month of May. Was submitted for into a raffle to win a free 20-minute reading. Two funny things happened. Number one, nobody followed the instructions. Not one person followed the instructions. However, the people that liked and shared and invited, they posted the name, they tagged the name of the people in a post on my post that I was inviting people to do this sharing. So what I had to do was I had to go through and search each and every one of those names that people tagged, and I had to see if they liked and followed the page, because for whoever had 5 people like and follow the page after they tagged them, they were submitted for the raffle. So the first funny thing was that no one followed the instructions, but I was able to compensate for it. I did all the research, and not only did nobody that they invited like and follow the page, but I actually lost followers this month. I had a couple people unfollow and unlike the page. So that was kind of ironic, because I'm just trying to get to 1,000 followers. But what I did was I went ahead and decided that the people that put forth the effort, I was going to give them a special thank you, even though none of the people that they tagged followed and liked the page. And so I'm going to read off those names, and then I'm also going to post it in there. So we had, if you guys are listening, I'll post it in these comments and on my Larkin Psychic Medium Spiritual Interpreter page later, and message these people so that they know. Let's see, Rebecca Gadsby. and Chrissy Runolfson. Let's see. We have 2 other people here. Michelle Graham, you're one of them, and Tammy Finch. The 4 of you tagged and invited people to like and follow my page. And even though none of them did, and I actually lost followers, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys each a $25 coupon towards any of my services. So that's either a reading or a past life regression, or any of those things. If you get on my my Larkin Psychic Medium page, you can see the services that I offer. It's larkinsreadings.com. So what I'm going to do, they're not good for events, but they're good for services. So I'm going to be sending each of you for a coupon just as a thank you for trying to invite more people to like and follow my page. And we'll get to 1,000 people eventually. Yes, you can gift it to your mom. So it's for any of my services. So if you wanted to buy her a reading, you can use it for that. You just need to message me what that is, and then I will have to send you I'll have to send you a new invoice minus that $25. So if you wanted to do like there's only 2 days left to get the hour-long reading. If you wanted to do that for the $75, then you could do that. I probably shouldn't do that for discounted things, but I will. You just have to message me, and then I'll have to send you the invoice for the $50. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So that's how I handled the raffle, since there was nobody to be in the raffle because nobody liked and followed the page. That's what I did. But you guys are all going to get that $25 off. So hopefully that helps. And we'll try to come up with some other fun promotion next week. Anyway, guys, please make sure to check my pinned events. I have all sorts of fun stuff coming up this month. And there's only 2 days left to get that half price reading. Thank you all for joining me today. Don't forget to like this and like the page. And hopefully I will see you guys on all these fun events that are coming up. I try to keep things as low priced as I can, but still enough to survive and pay for my horses and all my animals. Okay. And don't forget, Friday is Furball Friday. So if you join me, we do readings. We just talk about animals on Friday. All right. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. You are so welcome. Michelle, you're welcome. I do my best. I'll see you guys on Friday. Thanks for tuning in. Bye, everyone.